Right. So in this video, I will show you how to set up the right infra to get 10, 100, or maybe even 1,000 times more in your outbound campaigns. Okay. And again, regardless if you're already doing outbound, you're new to outbound, or you're a bit more established, or maybe even you haven't tried it ever before, which is I don't see why not, you will find value in this video. Okay. And again, regardless if you're B2B or B2C, but again, in most cases, we've found more success in the B2B space, mainly excuse me, mainly because they have higher tickets, right? And so there are multiple ways in wherein you can establish your outbound campaigns, right? You can either do cold calling, emailing, sales reps, or socials, or maybe LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is a social media platform, anyways, right? So again, you can do one of them, right? You can do all of them. You can do some of them. Outbound is still outbound, right? And it's essentially letting strangers know about your service or your solution and getting them interested enough to want to book a more serious call with you so that in the end they would buy, right? And so today we will focus on all of them because we do like a multi-channel approach to all of them wherein we combine the best of the best. We basically combine different things to get them as interested as possible in what we're offering. Okay, and so here's just a short, very very general outline of how we do things. And again, you can screenshot this, you can run this right now, and I'm sure you will be able to get a bunch of deals, a bunch of calls, a bunch of interested leads, as soon as it's up and as soon as your back end is good. Okay, so what we do is we start out most definitely with email campaigns. Okay, and it's because we're used to working with B2B companies. Okay, wherein mostly you're talking with owners, presidents, right, CEOs, people that are relatively busier than the average human being, just because like they have more meetings, they have more things to do. They mostly are just on email as well, answering emails from within the team, right? They can get notifications here. Okay, that's one reason. Okay, and another reason, okay, let's just put that. Another reason is that with email campaigns, we can do as much volume as we can. Okay, we've already figured out how to be able to send hundreds upon thousands of emails per month, per day, you name it, as long as the back end allows it, and as long as the budget allows it, the deliverability is able to, you know, we're able to land in their inboxes, we can do it, right? So we start out with email campaigns, and if we're trying to test the market, we try and send around 1,000, okay, around 1,000 to 2,000 per day, okay, and that's per day, okay, because I know a lot of owners, a lot of businesses out there that still does like 300 or maybe even less than that per day. And then what ends up happening is that they don't get any deals at all, and basically they call the entire thing a failure, right? They just say emails, cold emails dead, it never worked for us. But it's mainly just because they never sent the right amount of volume to test, right? Like this is just to test this, like one angle, right? So they what they do is they send 300, or maybe like I can understand though that 300 could be a lot, especially if you're new to outbound, or if you're new to business in general. Like 300 is a lot of people, right? But people often underestimate the amount of things and the amount of work they have to put in to really get to the level they want to be. Like you can even take employees, right? For example, like a startup could have maybe like 2 to 10, mid size is 11 to 50, but like the big companies, like they have 10,000 plus people, right? So this basically just tells us that the more you do, or the more people, right, that's working towards a common goal, right? Common goal, the bigger you can become, or the faster that you can get there, the faster that you know you can scale. Okay, so but essentially we make a lot of email inboxes. So typically hundreds of email inboxes. It depends what you want to use or what types of inboxes you want to make. So the best ones are definitely Google, Outlook, Microsoft, you name it. Like there's a lot of vendors out there that would ensure that you get, your inboxes, that would make sure you're compliant, that would make sure you will end up in, your prospects inboxes in the first place. We like at my agency we can do this for you obviously, but I'm just making this tutorial video with the assumption in mind that you're also trying your best to maybe learn this for yourself or learn this for your business and apply this for yourself, because at the end of the day that's what I'm here to help you with. Okay, so we set up the email campaigns in the back end that would allow us to send thousands of emails per day. Okay, and then once we get an interested reply, okay, so out of the like maybe out of the 1000 to 2000 emails per day, assuming, and again this is just a conservative assumption, assuming that you get anywhere from 3 to maybe even 15, right? Very very conservative. Obviously you can get more than that, but this is just as an example, okay, metric. Because maybe you're in a very very broad market and it's your first time and you just launched a campaign, you launch 1,000 emails per day and you got 3 interested replies. It's still a win, right? It's still a win. It's a start. Obviously you can start improving your campaigns from there, but don't get discouraged, right? If you get even less than this is a very very conservative assumption. So once we get an interested reply, basically we move to our multi-channel outreach. Okay, we call them up, we follow up with them on LinkedIn, and we email them again. Okay, and all of this we do, like we do not skip a single contact point wherein we can maybe engage with the prospect, right? And an interested reply is typically yes, send me this or send me that, send me over, or send a video, send the PDF over, show me, right? Those types of responses. Okay, so it's as easy as right at that moment, like ideally within 5 minutes, you try to at least call them up and just introduce yourself, introduce your product, what got them interested. It could be like hey Nolan, it's me. I just saw that you were interested, or I just saw that you replied to my email. I was wondering like what specific thing interested you the most, right? What got your attention in the first place, right? So there you can already establish trust, authority, if you can answer their questions and give actual advice. And then you can also book the intro call, which I will get into later, right? If they don't answer, leave them a voicemail. Just say, hey, it's Nolan from email. I just thought I'd call you to put a face to the name, but it seems you're not available right now. Let me know when you'd be available and I can ring you up by then, right? So that's voicemail. LinkedIn follow up, basically send them a connect request if you even want to and you think this is a very very prime prospect for you. You can send them an email, which is like a premium like message via LinkedIn that would just go straight to their inbox. So send them a message there, right? Give them a follow, like their stuff, do some background check or whatever you need to do in order to link up or connect with them on LinkedIn, and then also you email them again, right? Because typically here, once they're interested, one, you will send the required resources. So if they said yes to your video, then obviously after you call them up or before you even call them up, send them the video, right? Send them the video, call them up, follow them on LinkedIn, email again on the same day, right? Like just before I log off, I want to make sure that you see this. So replying here to put this at the top of your inbox, or again, it it depends on how you would structure your follow-ups, but ideally, especially on the same day that the prospect replied, you want to have as much contact points established as you can. Okay, and don't give up from there, because most times, especially if you're in if you're contacting like big CEOs, big owners, and big, maybe like presidents, vice presidents, chances are, if they responded yes initially and they don't respond anymore after that, chances are they got busy. Like that's literally it. I've had a couple of deals that took me like maybe even seven plus follow-ups before they even replied again. And then when we got into the call, they were just like, yeah, I got caught up in this expo, or I was at this event, I was away. And it's never like you would find with these people, it's never personal. Like it's never that you're bugging them, because they're already busy in in the first place. It's just that they haven't seen your your thing, right? Your message, or it could be they haven't answered your phone or call. So that sort of stuff, right? And so again, I can't stress enough really how you should follow up more. Like I think a lot of salespeople or sales reps or a lot of businesses in general don't follow up as much as they should be following up. And it's because, maybe they get an interested reply, they follow up once and then never again, right? But what you're missing out there is maybe on your third follow up, fourth follow up, fifth, sixth, seventh, they're not busy anymore. You just missed that. Like that's just another deal that you missed, another, deal that you could have made, right? Another deal that could have went into investing back into your company, investing into that next big project that you might have, right? And so basically once we do that, we move them to an intro call. Like this is the main priority of following up. Like don't ever try to straight up sell them here, because again that just pushes them back way more than it reels them in. So again, just be human. Like, hey, I saw you replied to my email. I just wanted to know if you're still having problems with blah blah blah. Oh, that's interesting. Do you mind if you tell me more, or we talk more about that through another meeting? It just takes 15-20 minutes, to solve XYZ problem, right? And that's what the intro call is for. And the intro call is obviously, if you don't know it yet, you will have to ask a lot of questions here. You qualify, you make sure that they're a good fit, you make sure that they have what you want them to have or what you need them to have. And then once you're good with that, obviously you book them into a closing call. And it's just as easy as saying, hey, what we do actually is a really really good fit for XYZ company. Do you mind if we schedule another call Thursday, Friday, to go deeper about this? Because I will, basically use everything that you told me, and I will come up with a more concrete plan so that we can really get to XYZ destination, right? And then obviously once you close, fulfillment, which is you get the deal, right? You do the service, right? Okay, and then you reinvest back into the system itself, right? So again, this looks simple, right? And that's because I made it look simple, but like this is the more generalized version of the entire approach. And obviously you would run into different, like, different specific problems, especially, like, how to set up email campaigns, how to set up the emails themselves, right? What phone number to use, what VoIP provider to use, how to set up your LinkedIn profile, what to say with your follow-ups, right? What to say when you're calling them, right? But essentially, this is the best mix that we found work the best, or work most times. And obviously, again, as I've mentioned, you can, maybe want to maybe you want to do cold calling first instead of email campaigns. Again, be my guest, but this is just based off of what has worked for us repeatedly across multiple verticals and multiple industries. And yeah, so feel free to use this approach. And if you have questions, again, I'm very, very reachable through both my LinkedIn, my email, or you can also book a time with me to figure out how we can do this for you.